Okay. Last couple things. Is there anything positive to say about the disorder? Is there anything positive about it?
Yes.
Having it? Or, yeah.
Yes, there is. There's some positive, you know. I know when Megan's, you know, grabs hold of an interest, you know, I find out a lot about the subject, and you know, I get educated too, and it makes me appreciate that I don't have it, you know, certainly, and I think it's made me a stronger person, you know, I'm much more flexible, you know, you have to be, you know, and, you know, if you're going to be a help and, you know, not a hindrance.
Okay, last one. Any words of wisdom or encouragement to family members of someone with bipolar disorder?
Yes. Let your child, daughter, son, brother, sister be accountable for their illness. Responsible, you know, they need to be the ones who are going to be proactive. They've got, you know, you've got to push them into it, you know, and you know, say, I can't deal with this, you know, you're the one that has to. And if you haven't found a good doctor, keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, don't give up.
What characteristics of a doctor, of a psychiatrist, would you say that people should really look for?
That the doctor is up to date on all the medications and has continuing education on the subject, not someone who's just going to say, well, here, take this. You know, they're not going to tell you why, you know, they're changing a medication or changing a dosage. That's probably the most important thing, because you know, you're going to be working so closely with the doctor. You've got to find one that you can deal with. You know, you don't have to necessarily like them. You probably won't sometimes.
Right. I'm just going to throw in there to add to that. The other one is avoid doctors that want to prescribe a pill every time you go in with a symptom.
Right.
And don't suggest alternatives or to just wait and see.
Right.
Of course, there will be times when wait and see isn't appropriate, but
yeah.
And also a doctor that's not afraid to disagree with you.
Right. Yeah. That's what I meant by you may not like the doctor, what the doctor's saying, but and one other thing, if they suggest ECT, to run in the opposite direction as fast as you can and as far as you can. That is not a solution for bipolar disorder.
And tell your family that and your doctors that, because you may find yourself in a situation where you're unable to make that decision appropriately, and then family will be able to say, now you told me.
Right. Get it in writing or something. Yes.
Well, I'm going to do a video on that. You can make advance directives and stuff psychiatric ones in certain states. You can't in Missouri.
Yeah.
You have to make the typical living will and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one other thing, just remember when there's a bad patch that it's not your daughter, son, brother, sister, etc. It's the illness. You know, they are not a disorder or an illness. They are your loved one. And I guess, you know, hate this, or love the sinner, hate the sin,
yeah,
would
kind of
would fit there. And just don't give up on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember with bipolar disorder, those bad patches, for most everybody, pass, and
yes.
that person will be back.
Right. They'll be back. Maybe better than ever.
Yeah.
You just...
All right. That's it.
That's it.
Yep. Now I have to go piece this together someday.
Okay.